My guest tonight is an Academy Award nominated actor and Golden Globe winner. He's appeared in dozens of memorable films like Crash, Hotel Rwanda, Iron Man 2 and 3, and Avengers Endgame. He also stars in the fantastic Showtime series Black Monday, and his new show, Don't Look Deeper, debuts on Quibi July 27th. Please welcome the extremely talented, very busy Don Cheadle. Good to see you, Don. How are you?
What's going on, Conan? Good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm good. I liked it. You were making fun of my hair just before we got started because it's out of control, and I apologize. I mean,
No. I mean, I think your hair is taking care of all of the making fun on all its own. I mean, especially this lick that you have going right now.
Look at this. Look at this. I can't. Look at that. See, that's like a Wi-Fi antenna right there. I'm getting 5G right now. Look at that. Look at that. I look like the little girl in a Dr. Seuss cartoon who wakes up when the Grinch is there.
Yeah.
You said you showed me just before the show, like you went with, wow, look at that. Braids. Fantastic.
Mama braided it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Will you help me? Please help me.
I would love to virtually give you some help, but I think you got to go back to those hair shops and let them handle that.
Yeah. I had this done once. I was up, when we did a week of shows at the Apollo Theater, some women there, I went into their shop and they braided my hair, and I've never felt pain like that in my life.
Yes.
In my life. I have mad respect for people that can do that.
Yeah. It gives you like a natural facelift. It just pulls everything up.
Yes, I did look like I was sort of in my late 20s, but I was in constant pain. So I'm never doing that again. Let me ask you, how are you as a person? We'll get into, you have, I know, 35 things going on right now, different projects. You always do. You're a very busy guy, but how are you doing? How's your family?
We're good for the most part. I mean, I'm very fortunate that, like I said, I live with someone who isn't sick of me, and we gotta have our routine, and we're here with the dogs and they're fine. Our kids have been out of the house for a year now, and
right.
They're living together, actually not too far away, so we get to see them. They're like our COVID partners, and we get to go over there and hang out. It's cool.
So your kids are old enough to be living out on their own?
Yeah, they're in their 20s now. So even if they didn't want to go, I was like, you got to go. So they're out. Yeah.
My kids are still very young, but I made them leave. I just, I gave them each, $120, and I said, I'll see you in a month.
I think that's good parenting, because at times like this, when things are very tough, where are they going to learn how to toughen up unless you kick them out of the nest and make them fend for themselves, like any good dad?
Yes, I thought it was tough love. I've had some people say you could have given them more than 120 each, and they seem pretty young. I don't think people should tell me how to run my life.
When I woke up, we still lived in America, right? This is a free country.
Thank you. Thank you. Finally, someone who gets it. Let me ask you something. I'm used to bumping into you. Sometimes I'll see you in a restaurant. You're always, I can tell you're someone who's comfortable chatting with people. How are you dealing with this Zoom thing? Because it's problematic.
I agree. I mean, I think, and I'm sure we're going to see some peer-reviewed studies coming out about the negative effects, the cancer-causing effects of staring at a screen and talking to 10 people in boxes all day long. I mean, it is it's funny because it feels in a way like it's distancing in a way that the social distancing, and there's just this distancing theme that's happening. And right. I know, we're social creatures, and we really want to come back together and be together and share space and all that. But, obviously we're seeing the results of doing that too soon. And it's very challenging. We had some people come over, a family come over, and a friend of ours come over, and everybody was in the backyard, and we were all socially distanced. And our one friend lives by himself, and he was saying, man, I really, really needed this. And it's really tough. I really feel for people who don't have that community and aren't able to actually see people. It's really challenging right now.
Yeah, I think sometimes, I mean, obviously Zoom is a great invention, and it works for a bunch of things. And for a show like the one I'm doing, Zoom is necessary for all the late night shows. Yes. But I sometimes would rather talk to someone on the phone then Zoom, there's this obligation now that everyone has to have a Zoom, and sometimes there's 75 people on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Most of them, and some of them are like shirtless on an exercise bike, and if someone else is wearing a prom dress, and I don't know, it's all over the map.
Well, what I've started to do about Zoom, and my wife was like, "Oh, you bossed up on that one. I like it." I just like turn the camera off. They're like, "Don, we can't see you." I'm like, "No, you can't see me." That's the point of turning the camera off. I can still hear you. We're still good. Everything's gonna get done. But why do if people have to like get dressed up and feel like they have to be on?
I hope you didn't dress up for me, because you look good. You got the shirt looks nice. The hat is very cool.
Thank you.
Is this just you hanging around the house, or was this you saying, "I got to talk to Conan. He's probably the biggest star in the business. I better clean up my act"?
Yeah, that was it. I got your email. Start the business.
You're such a bad liar. You just went, yeah, that one.
Hand me that shirt.
I can't.
He can't smell it. Just hand it to me.
There's obviously the pandemic, but there's been so much other heaviness going on in the last month. I know that you've been an activist, and a very active activist for many, many years, and you take this very seriously. And I'm just curious, how have the conversations been in the wake of George Floyd's murder? Were you and your family having different conversations than you've had before, or was it more intense, or did you feel like, no, this didn't change anything for us? We've known this for a long time.
Well, we've definitely had these conversations before, but I think everyone has felt an intensity about this one, and it has been ratcheted up. Mainly because of the callousness and the manner in which it was, the murder happened, and how we were all locked down and just watching it on a loop. I mean, I never saw the whole tape, actually. I just saw the beginning and the end. I couldn't really watch it. But yes, these conversations have been had prior to this with my family, with the community. Mm-hmm. But with my kids, it was definitely ratcheted up a lot more because, for them, my youngest anyway, is really just sort of getting into the workforce, just, beginning her life and really starting her life as an adult out there, and having all of these things happen at the same time. George Floyd was after Ahmaud Arbery, was mm-hmm. after Breonna Taylor, was after even, Amy Cooper in the park. So I think the confluence of all of those things together with the pandemic on top of it really made this sort of like, boiling point happen. And then, we saw the lid come off, and hopefully we will continue to find ways to keep the conversation alive. I know that there's still, protests, Portland, it's still happening all around the country, all around the world, really. So it's not like people have completely forgotten. But, human beings want to exhale. They want to let that stress off and go back to what they believe is normal. But I just think we can't do that now, because I think a return to what is normal is actually a step back. It won't be just a return. It'll be a complete reset to something that I don't think we can afford to do as a community. So hopefully this moment is instructive, and hopefully we'll find many, many different ways to continue this conversation and find out how we can really approach this systematic issue from all different angles.
There's a question I wanted to ask you that I've been pondering a little bit, which is the role of celebrities in all of this. I think it can maybe sometimes get a little complicated with
100.
celebrities, and I think you feel the same way. But I thought maybe we could have a discussion about that. Mm-hmm. My feeling being, there's a very fine line between someone in the public eye giving of themselves and trying to move this piece forward and trying to help us all grow, and saying, "Hey, look at me. I'm check me out." It can flip so quickly, and I just wanted to talk to you about it because I'm sure, you know, you have a strong opinion about it.
Well, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, it can be a double-edged sword. You know, we have this platform, and we're both, you know, sensitive people, and we are a part of the world, and we understand that though we have this ability to, in some ways, insulate ourselves from things, at the same time we are not insulated, and these issues affect everyone. And so, yes, we want to take our platforms and find ways to be productive and find ways to, as you say, move this thing forward. But I think a lot of times what it requires is for us to kind of step out of the way and use the power that we have as producers, as people behind the camera, as well as in front of the camera, to to push it on that end, and make sure that the non-centered voices get centered, and make sure that the people who are not seen get to the front. And, you know, something that I saw people were doing on Twitter, which I thought was really cool. A lot of people were just giving their platform over to other people. You know, you have 1 million followers. You're like, okay, now let's check out Debbie, who's doing this with whatever, or Jim, who's doing this over here. And they're just going to have my platform for a while. So I think a lot of times our best work is done when we step out of the way. We get the attention, and then we shift the light, you know, shift the focus. And yeah, it's tricky because you can look like you're clout surfing. You can look like you're trying to go, look at me. But I'm cool with saying, look at me, as long as once people are looking at you, you go, now look at them, you know? So
right. Okay. That's a great way
about that, right?
That's a great way of thinking of it. I like that because I'm always, and I also think it's be willing to try things, have them work, not work, but just move on.
Right.
It's that fear that a lot of people have of making a mistake or looking silly that gets discussed a lot now, which is try. And if you make a mistake, or if some of your friends check you and say, yeah, that wasn't quite it, nice try, but that wasn't quite it, don't overreact and get defensive. Try again.
Yeah, you know? fail better. I mean, I'm not sure whose the quote is. I had a discussion with Eddie Escalade, and if he wants to text in, he can tell us. But yeah, I think it's try, fail, you know, fail better. Just keep at it. You can't, it's too important to dip out. And especially because you get beat up on, you know, Twitter or wherever, you know, that's not really the barometer by which we should be judging how we should be acting. Although I understand it can influence us, but we just have to continue to ring the bell. And like you said, and sometimes it's not the perfect way, but you just got to keep ringing it. Yeah.
I always think this has been something this issue has plagued our country for a couple of 100 years. It is the defining, stain on our country that we need to get better. We need to resolve. And so if some embarrassment on Twitter is the price that you pay, so what?
Suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up. Let's talk about Black Monday. This show is terrific. I think I get the sense you really love being this character. I think that's the sense I get, is that it's fun because you are flawed, which in glorious ways. I can tell watching you do this. It's like, oh yeah, Don's having fun. He's having a good time with this.
Yeah, and I have a great time with my castmates and the writers' room and our producers and the directors that we're able to bring in. We've had a lot of great experience with all of these, every aspect of the show, in front and behind the camera, and everybody really shows up to work hard because we're making this show in 5 days. You know, each episode is 5 days, which is bananas. You know, it's not enough time. Right. I think that kind of plays into sort of the dynamics of the show. It feels frenetic. It feels like, you know, everybody's on coke watching and experiencing it. It just feels like this, you know, crazy energy in a bottle. And it's fun. And I think if we didn't have the cast that we have, and we didn't have, you know, the ability to just run and gun, I think it would be a turgid experience. But because we're all like there and can really play off of each other and have a lot of fun with each other, I think it just pops.
I mean, yeah, doing a show like this in 5 days, and there are probably a lot of people watching that don't understand what kind
Right.
of timeline usually exists for a show like this. They could spend
Yeah.
weeks. 5 days is ridiculous, but it does probably help all of you feel like you're in the trenches
Yeah.
and help. And yeah, you it helps you feel and look coked up.
Yeah. And you lean on each other. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
there's been countless times when we've each had to pull each other out of the fire, and get each other's back in a way that really makes you bond. And I feel really close with all those guys, and we spend time away from the set before, Rona was on the stroll. We did.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have a group of people that you feel you have a great time showing up. And if you're going to be in the trenches, you want to be in the trenches with these dudes.
You have a very different look this season. I was looking at this picture this morning, and that is fantastic. That is a fantastic look, and maybe the answer for me.
I mean, I don't think you should knock it until you try it. I mean, audition it, walk around a little bit, see what the feedback is, and flip it, play with it, see.
I want to try that look, and that would be. I think I could pull it off.
Definitely.
I would get a lot of attention. I wanted to ask you, I know your character plays bass this season. Is that something, are you playing the bass these days? Are you doing the method thing of I'm going to learn the bass, or are you saying I can fake this? Let's just fake it.
Well, no, it was something that I think the writers put in because I would always go back to my room, between shots and, between scenes, and I always had the bass with me.
Oh, so they're taking that from you. They're borrowing Don Cheadle's. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay.
They're going, oh, you can do that? Well, let's try to figure out a way to stick it in the show and make fun of it. And I was like, that's cool. So
no, it's not. They saw you doing something that brings you joy, and they said, let's make that part of your character, and everyone laughs at him.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
You're actually making me rethink my whole experience on the show right now. I was trying not to go there, but we've pierced the veil. So yeah, they're not cool people. Now that I think about it, they're not cool at all.
No. I'll talk to them. Okay, that's not going to do anything. I won't talk to them. Are you, I know that we've talked about this before, but you love golf. Can you play golf now? I would think that would be one of the sports you could play. Absolutely, right? It's one of the few things that, you could stay socially distanced and you're outside and you're in the elements and the wind's blowing, the sun's out. And, I've been keeping that up. So that's been nice to do, to see the same, 5 people around this period of time. Everybody's been tested. We've all gotten the negative results. So it's cool to be out. And it's the same dudes that I played with a lot. It's Anthony Anderson and George Lopez and Cedric the Entertainer and Chris Spencer and DL Hughley. So we're all fun. That's a fun group. That's a really fun group. Yeah, we just laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh the whole time. The celebrities I hang with are the original kids from Menudo. That's they're all in their late, well, I would say late 50s, early 60s now. Yeah, but they feel probably like they're 70 because they have so much road on them. And yes, and they don't get along, but they're the only celebrities that will hang with me. So, hey man, you got to love your friends, right? Anthony Anderson has been telling people that you like to play for sort of interesting. You like to wager when you play golf, and it can get interesting. We have had sort of a running. First, we had a Brownie Cup, which we used to play at Pebble Beach, and then we moved it around. And then because there was such demand to get in the cup, we had to open it up and create the Brownie Invitational, which was much more lax in the rules as far as who could be a member. So we actually just had another Brownie event last month. DL Hughley won. He's the reigning champion of the Brownie Invitational. So describe the Brownie. Does the winner get a certain Brownie? No, that's not the prize. The winner actually gets a trophy, which is a beautiful trophy that George purchased. A beautiful trophy. No, the Brownie aspect of it is both a melanin component as well as something that must be eaten
at the ninth hole, which makes the back 9 very interesting.
Is it a weed brownie? Is that what you're saying?
You know, I've never we don't have a lab out there. I can't say for sure what's in the brownie. I'm not a forensics expert or anything like that. I will say that it doesn't taste like your traditional brownie. And there are flecks of some material in it that I just can't identify, but it does make the last 9 holes really interesting.
It's probably oregano.
You know what? It does have a very oregano, a soupçon to it. So that's what I'm going to say it is.
Well, I hope I didn't ruin everything for you. Hey, someday I'll bring the Menudo crew over. We can play with you guys.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I'll see those guys.
Yeah, they're really, God, they hate each other.
There's like 50 of them now, aren't there? I mean, there's
I stick with the original Menudo. I stick with the original guys.
You're loyal. You're loyal.
Yeah, that's me. And you know, that's who I am. That's how I roll. All right, let me make sure I get the word out.
Your hair would have told the whole story.
Damn, I gotta do something.
Look at that. Can I just say for a second though? I mean, I know people say it all the time, but damn it, that's impressive, man.
Thank you. It's getting.
How old of a man are you that you can still grow that mane like that?
Look at this.
Oh my God.
Anyone tuning in right now? Don, help me! I've been electrocuted.
You should look at this.
I don't know. Man, I don't know what's going on anymore. We're all losing our minds. But I have to say, you put a smile on my face. I always love talking to you. I'm a very big admirer of yours. And so it lifts my spirits to get to chat with you. And thanks for hanging with me. You know,
love it. Anytime, Conan. Great to see you. Always.
Really, anytime. Really.
Well, what am I going to say? You're going to show this to people. You know, I'll text you offline, and you'll know how I really feel.
Anytime. Okay, I'm coming by tonight with my protective bubble. Oh, no. He's gone. Damn it. All episodes of Black Monday, which is fantastic, are available on Showtime. And Don's new series, Don't Look Deeper, will be streaming on Quibi on July 27th. Make sure you check that out. Don, always a pleasure, seriously. And thank you. Thank you for hanging with me.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks, Conan. Let's do it again.
Okay, take care.